Intel versus AMD, AMD versus NVIDIA, NVIDIA versus Intel, GPUs, CPUs, threads, cores, all of that stuff is what I deal with on this YouTube channel. We talk about a lot of these different combinations of CPUs and GPUs for gaming and streaming PCs, and I get a lot of questions. So I just recorded a video not too long ago answering every single one of your guys' comments, most of them being about CPU and GPU combos. I wanted to make a video just a little bit more directed, specifically at GPUs. And one of the biggest questions is AMD or NVIDIA better for streaming? I've got a whole list of questions that I've been asked over this time that I've been creating videos. So let's get started and let's answer some of these questions. Either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching my videos, and cheers. Let's get some of these questions answered. All right, question number one. Do I need a separate GPU for streaming, or can I just use my gaming GPU? You don't need to get a specialty streaming GPU. You also don't need to get a second GPU. If you have a graphics card already, that should be good enough for streaming. Really just depends on what kinds of games you're playing. But if you're playing the games that you want already, chances are that GPU is good enough to stream at the same time. It's really just going to come down to what CPU that you have that goes with it. If you want to have a 2 PC setup, then you might need a second GPU for that second PC, but other than that, you don't need any separate GPUs. What is the minimum VRAM needed for 1080p streaming? Really, for streaming, you don't need a ton of VRAM. VRAM actually is what's for storing all of these shaders and graphics and textures for your game, not something really needed for streaming. So really, when it comes down to what kind of VRAM do you need for streaming, it really comes down to what kind of VRAM you need for the game that you're trying to play. So if you're trying to play 1080p games, typically 8 gigabytes is plenty right now. I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to try to say that 8 gigabytes is not enough. If you are wanting to play all of the latest AAAs and never have a problem, you might want to look at more than 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but you should be pretty happy with 8 gigabytes if you're running at 1080p. And then the standard rule of thumb is at least 12 gigabytes for 1440p gaming and 16 gigabytes for 4K gaming. Otherwise, as long as you've got a graphics card and a computer that can handle the game that you're playing, you should be able to stream it. All right, I might need a drink for this one. AMD versus NVIDIA. Which is better for streaming? So this one is a little bit more complicated than just picking a side. At the core, you can just choose AMD or NVIDIA. Which one are you more of a fan of? Which one are you more interested in purchasing and getting into the ecosystem of? Really, what this comes down to is a question about the actual encoders themselves. The actual video encoders, not really the brand, not really the graphics card at play here. The video encoder is what actually takes your video signal and sends it out to a platform like Twitch, YouTube, to actually be able to be viewed by somebody else. AMD's graphics cards have long been more efficient and more price to performance ready than NVIDIA's when it comes to pure gaming performance. But at the same time, NVIDIA's video encoders have been much stronger than AMD's. So that's why a lot of Twitch streamers have always opted for NVIDIA graphics cards, because they get a higher quality stream out of an NVIDIA graphics card. With the AMD 9000 series graphics cards, though, those encoders have jumped in quality so much that it's honestly hard to tell the difference at this point. If you are an AMD person, if you're an NVIDIA person, I would think you're fine at buying whichever graphics card makes the most sense for you at this point. You're going to get a very, very similar quality stream using that H.264 codec. Now, if you're only streaming to YouTube, or other applications that support AV1 encoding. Maybe in the near future, when you're watching this, Twitch has finally allowed the ability to use AV1 encoding. This is where things get a little bit different. Now, AMD's AV1 encoder has actually not improved that much with this latest 9000 series, while NVIDIA's has, as well as Intel's AV1 encoders have gone miles ahead of the competition. If you're interested in only streaming to YouTube, honestly, you should probably look at an Intel graphics card. The Intel B580 is at honestly some of the best prices. If you're only playing at 1080p, that's a really, really inexpensive way to get a brand new card that's gonna look really, really great on stream too. If you're interested in learning more about these encoders, make sure you check out the video from EpisVox down in the description below. He is an absolute genius when it comes to this stuff. Always has the right information. So it's not super cut and dry when you're talking about specifically streaming, because you're looking at the encoders that the graphics cards have. But what about when you don't have to worry about encoders? AMD or NVIDIA? Which is better just for gaming? Typically, this crown has been given to AMD. They've had better price to performance GPUs for a very long time, and in the last 5 to 7 years, you haven't really had to worry about the driver issues that plagued them before that. Honestly, the 9000 series, especially the 9070 XT, for what you're getting, the amount of power, the amount of VRAM is really hard to match by the NVIDIA side, and honestly is not really matched from Intel at this point. For 1080p gaming, I'd probably recommend the NVIDIA side. The 5060 Ti has just been getting better reviews lately than the 9060 XT, is probably a little bit safer at this point, where AMD has seemed to have been a little bit lacking in the super budget range. Moving into that higher end, especially into the 1440p range, I think the 9070 XT is a fantastic choice. Recently put that in one of my builds. It's an amazingly powerful graphics card. And on the NVIDIA side, the 5070 Ti is really where it's at. It's got that 16 gigabytes of VRAM. It's got all the power that you're going to need and then some. Definitely reaching into the 4K area with these graphics cards. But if you are really, really looking for 4K gaming, you have to go with a 5080, a 5090, a 4090, maybe the 7900 XTX. You're going to be spending a lot of money if you want to play at 4K. Unless you're planning on using some upscaling and DLS type of stuff. And at that point, honestly, I would still lean towards NVIDIA. DLSS is just going to be more supported across the board as far as games go. And it's, from what I've heard, just a little bit better experience at the moment. Here's another interesting question that I don't get all the time, but I did want to touch on. Can integrated graphics handle streaming at all? So really, I would only recommend this if you're only streaming something like a webcam, or you're streaming a console, or you are streaming your desktop capture of a website or something. I would definitely not try to play a game on a computer without a dedicated graphics card and then expect to stream it on top of that. Definitely going to need a graphics card if you're going to play the game on the actual computer. If you are just doing a just chatting or a console type of stream, though, I did make an entire video on that kind of streaming as well. Make sure you go and check that one out over on the link in the corner there. What GPU do I need to stream at 1440p 60 frames per second? So I kind of talked about this one already. If you have to buy something new, the 9070 XT from AMD, the 5070 Ti from NVIDIA, and probably the 4070 Ti Super is where I'd go if you're going back a generation. The 7800 XT from AMD. Those are going to be the cards that I would start with. Anything higher than that, and you're going to be good to go. Anything lower than that, and you're going to really be turning some settings down to try to get 1440p at least 60 frames per second. Is an RTX 4060 enough for streaming and gaming simultaneously? Now, this is a really great question, and I know that a lot of people have similar questions to this because the 4060, the 5060, those are the budget cards. Those are the ones that are most accessible for everybody. Is that enough? Do you need to buy anything more? And it really comes down to what kinds of games you're playing and what kind of quality you want to get out of those games. As long as you're playing 1080p, as long as you are, if you're playing any of those esports titles like Valorant, like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Rocket League, Fortnite, all of those types of games, you honestly should be fine with a 4060 or a 5060, some of those lower end budget type of cards. But just be ready that if you are going to that budget range, that depending on what game you want to play, you are probably going to have to turn those settings down to low to medium versus turning them all the way up and getting the best looking game possible. When you're looking at those budget cards, you're really toning down the amount of money that you spend so that you can have something that works, but it doesn't always work the best and prettiest as you would want it to. Do I need a capture card if I have a really good GPU? So you really only need a capture card if you are capturing some sort of external video from a console or a webcam or something along those lines. If you are playing a game on your PC and streaming it directly from there, no capture card necessary. A good GPU is all you need. Will my GPU bottleneck my CPU when streaming? So again, this all really depends on the actual combo that you have. If you want any more information on great combos, I've got a ton of them all over my channel. Feel free to check them out. But really, this comes down to specifically what kinds of games you're playing. There are different bottleneck calculator websites out there, but they're going to be very generic. They're going to have really, really wide bottleneck areas to talk about. But if you look at specifically the game that you're playing, the requirements that game is asking for, that's going to tell you, kind of put that in a range. If your game recommends an i5, 10th generation i5 processor and a 2060 Super, you can kind of put those in ranges, and depending on how much better your CPU or GPU is, or over or under those recommendations, that'll kind of give you an idea of whether that specific game will be bottlenecked by your actual system. But let me know down in the comments about your CPU GPU combo, and we'll see if we can figure out if it's going to be bottlenecked or not. Can I use two different GPUs in one streaming PC? This is a really interesting question and not something that I would recommend for people that are not familiar with the process. Is it doable? Yes, absolutely. Is it a lot to set up and a lot to get right and requires a lot of specific hardware to get done, as well as probably have pretty minimal benefits for the most part? I probably wouldn't recommend having two GPUs. I think what a lot of people think about having two GPUs is you get the power of GPU number one plus the power of GPU number two. You get twice the amount of power. And unfortunately, it doesn't work quite that way. There's a lot more to it than that. But really, you're better off getting just one really powerful GPU at that point. What's better for streaming, CPU encoding or GPU encoding? Again, really depends on the hardware that you have, but for the most part, you are probably going to have a better experience if you are using GPU encoding. Make sure that you select the encoding that matches your specific GPU, and for the most part, you're going to have a better time. How much does ray tracing impact your streaming performance? Yes. The answer is yes. Just for the most part, unless you've got an absolute monster of a PC, you should probably just turn ray tracing off. If you are noticing any sort of lag at all, that should be the first thing that you go and turn off. Disable, at least lower the settings on. Ray tracing takes a lot of GPU performance for very, very minimal gains at this point. Can older GPUs like the 1660 Super still stream in 2025? And I am here to tell you absolutely yes. right over here, I've got my 1080 Ti that I still use on a very regular basis to record these videos, to live stream builds of PCs down here in the Pixel Pub all the time. Yes, they absolutely can. Really, the only limiting factor at this point is what kinds of games these GPUs are going to play. Again, I probably wouldn't recommend trying to play Borderlands 4 at 4K ultra high settings on that kind of GPU. Is this capable of streaming? Absolutely. It's just not going to play some of those higher end games. Why does my stream lag, but my game is running fine? Now, this could be a handful of reasons. When anything is lagging, the first thing I do is typically open up Task Manager. Is anything hitting 100% utilization? CPU, GPU, hard disk usage? If anything is hitting 100% usage, that means it's being maxed out and something is losing performance because of it. Typically though, if your stream is lagging but your game seems to be running fine, that almost sounds like a networking issue to me. I would make sure that you are plugged hardwired into your router. Make sure that there's no connection issues anywhere first. Can my GPU overheat from streaming for long sessions? Absolutely. These things are running very, very hot. Under load, most CPUs, GPUs can get anywhere from 70 to 100 degrees Celsius. They are running very, very hot, and that's definitely one of the main stressors on these components is getting too hot. Can something overheat? Absolutely, especially the longer that you're running it. The things that you can make sure that you do are make sure you have a really good airflow through your computer. Make sure that it's none of the fans on your PC are being blocked by dust or pet hair or anything along those lines. Clean your computer out every once in a while to make sure that airflow isn't being blocked. And depending on how old your system is, typically if it's like somewhere in the 5 years or older, if you notice it overheating a lot, it could be time to reapply thermal paste to your GPU, to your CPU. But again, if that's something that you're not comfortable with, ask your local techie like me. I would love to do that for you. Is your GPU usage supposed to be at 100% while streaming? So this is a really great question as well. So we were just talking about usage in Task Manager hitting 100% and how that's typically a bad thing. So it's not really necessarily a bad thing unless your game wants to utilize more power. So think about it just on a range, right? If the game is asking your graphics card to utilize this much power, and it's utilizing 50% of your graphics card's total power, your graphics card is just sitting and wasting the rest of that other 50%. It could be doing something else with. So if your graphics card is hitting 100%, it is being fully utilized. Every penny that you paid for that graphics card is being utilized to play your game as high a quality as possible right now. But typically what we see when a graphics card hits 100% or anything utilization hits 100%, it doesn't, whatever game is trying to run right now, it doesn't typically stop at exactly 100%. It typically wants more than that. If the game is asking for 110% of the GPU's total processing power, now all of a sudden you're going to start seeing some lag. You're going to start seeing some stuttering. You're going to see drop in frames. So the closer that you can get to exactly 100% usage, the better. But hitting 100% typically means you're hitting that ceiling and you're not going to be able to go any higher. Should I upgrade my GPU or my CPU first for better streaming? Another absolutely fantastic question. It really all depends on what hardware you have right now and what your budget is going forward. If you already have an Intel i7 processor with plenty of cores to run all the applications that you're running on, you know, it might be worth upgrading your GPU for. And honestly, I think one of the best GPUs right now is the 5070 Ti. If you want to see what I would recommend CPU wise to put with that graphics card, make sure you check out this video over here. I appreciate you sticking with me through all these questions. We'll see you over there. Cheers.